Hello, everyone, and good afternoon and evening, wherever you are. So, today I'm reacting to Foodie Beauty's live stream, which she did a few hours ago called I'm Sorry. So, I was busy today and I couldn't cover it as soon as it came out. Thankfully enough, Chantal did not dirty delete, which is a complete surprise to me because pretty much every live stream that she does anymore, she dirty deletes. Hence the reason why the reaction channels have to be on it and recording it as soon as she goes live. But she left this one up, and this live was called I'm Sorry. So, what is Foodie Beauty apologizing for? Well, she's halfway apologizing for getting high. Essentially, she's apologizing because she got called out for getting high. Ever since Foodie got back from Kuwait, she's gotten high every single day and every single night. It's become a regular habit to her. She has sworn over and over that she has gotten rid of the edibles. But if you're not doing the edibles, Foodie, what are you doing? I've got a theory, and this is just a theory. This is not concrete. This is not fact. I have no receipts. My theory is Foodie is doing something other than edibles. I've been watching her closely, and please remember that I'm somebody that, like Foodie, I have BED. Mine is in recovery, has been in recovery for quite a while. Hers is not in recovery. The pattern with Foodie is that she will do something like a stimulant, like say cocoa, to give her energy to get up and live stream for hours. And then when she wants to go to bed, she has to do something to turn the light switch off, so to speak. Usually that's the edibles, but she knows that when she does the edibles, it causes her to binge. She just goes wild with the food. So the way the foodie's been acting lately, noticing that she's up and doing her live streams, but she's not completely energized. It looks like she's toned down. Again, this is just a theory, no fact, no receipts. I think she's doing K, maybe a little bit of the K, and I have to mispronounce the name because this is YouTube and monetization. Perhaps she might be back to doing the ketamine, I want to say. Nader did mention that that's something she's done before. Ketamine is something that will sedate you a bit, and it doesn't have the side effect of making you hungry. So perhaps that is what Foodie is doing. You know, she's back to doing the special K cereal that tones everything down but doesn't make her binge. I think she realized how much weight she gained in Kuwait, and to stop herself from gaining even more, she's doing a combination of, say, perhaps the cocoa and then perhaps the special case cereal to kind of give her that come down slowly and go to sleep effect. This is just a theory. Again, like I said, this is not set in stone. But if she were doing the edibles, like everybody thinks she is, she would be binging like a wild woman. And she's not been doing that. So if it's not the edibles, what exactly is it, Foodie? What is sedating you after being up all day on the cocoa? You know, like inquiring minds want to know. So with that said, I'm going to take you guys over to Twitter. We're going to look at little clips from the live on Twitter and then cover the actual live. So let me just go ahead and share the screen. One moment, please. Let's see. Oh, there's two tabs open. I had to remember to share them both because StreamYard has a weird system these days. Okay, so here is my Twitter. Let's start with this one. Let's start with this clip from P saying, it's actually sad that people think that I really thought this person was anything important in my life. What the F does that even mean? She can't pretend now that Nader was never important to her and it's somehow sad. We could think that gaslighting. So everybody is under the impression, and it's a good impression, it's a strong impression, that she and Nader are talking, that they are seeing each other. Nader did a live stream last night saying that he was single, acting as if he and Dee Dee were broke up, although he's still in her house. Do I think that they're really broke up? No, I think it's all just for clicks and views. It's clickbaiting. If you're really single, Nader, what are you doing in Dee Dee's house? Shouldn't you be out of there? I mean, really, what are you doing with her if you're supposedly done with Dee Dee? But isn't it funny that all of this stuff is happening after Foodie gets back from Kuwait? At this point in the game, I think that Nader and Foodie, they've got a weird love-hate relationship between the both of them. He hates her, yet he's fascinated by her. I can't exactly define it. But that is her one true love, and everybody knows it, Foodie. Everybody knows it. You two should just move in together and do your thing if that's what you want to do. Your relationship is your relationship. If that's what you want, that's what you want. But the one thing that people don't like is the lying. We can't stand the lying. Treating the audience like they're stupid. We're not stupid. We know everything. We're just waiting for you to admit the truth. That's all. So let's look at this clip real quick from P and Foodie Beauty.
It's actually sad that people think that I really thought that this person was anything important in my life. Like, comparing to how how Solid treats his woman, at the end of the day, you don't see him replying to Chef Nattered Goblin Fish, El Scammy, because he doesn't have to. He has me. It's actually sad that people think that I really.
Okay, so one moment, please. I want to just check something out. All right, hold on. I'm just making sure I got the audio. Oops. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm just making sure the audio is there because I hate that. Okay, because I didn't see anything for Foodie. I didn't see anything in the little window to show the audio. But yeah, so she just said, I can't believe that people actually think that he meant anything to me. Foodie, you chased after that man for over a year. You did everything in your power to get him under your control. And I mean everything. You tried to buy his love. You tried to manipulate him into a relationship. You tried to buy your own engagement ring and act like he was the one that bought it for you. Remember the engagement photos? Yeah, because you bought the ring. You thought that if you bought a ring and put it on your finger, that meant that would kind of force him into a relationship with you. And I do remember very clearly you going into his chat room and saying to him, I got the ring, I got the dress, claim me. You were desperate to have this man claim you. Also, let's not forget the one stream you did where you said, I am addicted to this man. And we all know how you are with your addictions. There's not a single one of your addictions that you've overcome. Every single one of them are still highly active. So if you're not a person that you're all about that life of conquering your addictions, you just create one and then let it go forward and be active, then isn't it correct to assume that your addiction for Nader is also still active? I believe so. Also, one more thing. While you were in Kuwait, while you were married to Salah, let's not forget that moment where you went into Nader's chat room and you said to Dee Dee, I could take him, meaning Nader, anytime I want. You were still trying to claim ownership over Nader and telling Dee Dee that if you came home, he'd be all about you. Why would you do that as a married woman? That is incorrect behavior. If you guys were really married, if I were solid, that would be grounds for divorce right there. Grounds for divorce. Goodbye, see you later, don't want to talk to you, don't want to know you, don't call my number, that sort of thing. But even when you were married, you still had Nader on your mind and you haven't shut up talking about him. If you're still talking about somebody, that means you're still thinking about them. So you and Nader, you both got this weird, hateful, loving, I don't even know what to call it, relationship between the two of you. Y'all need to stop fighting it. If you want to be with each other, just go do it. Get a place together, move along. I halfway think this whole thing with you saying you're going to go to Kuwait, you're going to move out, Pete's moving out. I think that has to do with Nader also, because Pete's being in the picture has always been a bone of contention with any other man you get with. They just don't want you around him. So maybe you're getting rid of Pete's because you want to be with Nader. And you know that's a sticking point between the two of you. Although you both have clashing personalities, Pete's being around, Nader doesn't like. And he will never like, so maybe you have to get rid of him for that reason. Okay. Perfectly Imperfect says Foodie Beauty will only do lives driving on the long road because she needs to make money, but doesn't want to interact with her chat anymore. Absolute laziness. I can't believe anyone is wasting their money on her. What a ripoff. Right. Whenever she just wants to let the footage roll and run up the time, she'll do things. She's got a whole list of things that she'll do just to eat up more time, like eating and putting on her makeup or taking a drive where she can't read the chat. She's just running up the meter, y'all. Just running it up, because the longer her live is, the more ads Google AdSense can place on your live stream or your video. And that's essentially what she's living on anymore, is the Google AdSense money. That's what she's surviving on. And I don't want to hear any more talk from you, Foodie, about the reactors taking money out of your pocket. No, ma'am. Not when you take more money out of your own pocket, doing a live, and as soon as you're done, you delete it. Anybody that's on your side of the pasture that wants to see the live that were not there as soon as it happened, what other choice do they have but to go the reaction channels and go the react channels that happen to catch it? What you're doing is you're doing a live. This is so comical and sad at the same time. What you're doing, ma'am, when you do that, you're doing a live. You're spending an hour or 2 hours of time, your time, making a live that you're then handing to the reaction channels and saying, here, I just spent an hour or 2 hours of my time on this live and I made a little bit of money. But here you go. Merry Christmas. You guys take this and put it on your channels and you keep it on there for hours and days and you'll make more money. I mean, you hate us so much, but yet you're constantly giving us exclusive content that we have it, but you don't. You rob yourself. We're not robbing you. You're the biggest thief of yourself. Goodness gracious. Okay, so this is from Kristen. Oh, sorry about that. What is this?
They make fun of me being fat, but they're fatter or weirder looking. Like their fat is dispersed strangely.
Sorry about the visuals, y'all. So yeah, Foodie's got an issue with all of us. She's got an issue with all of us saying all the reactors are overweight. I beg to differ. And you know what? Let's just say, for argument's sake, Foodie, that you were right. Let's just say we're all overweight people. Ma'am, if you're a morbidly obese woman, can you really talk? You talk all the time about fat shaming, but aren't you fat shaming by poking fun at people that might be overweight? So you are a morbidly obese woman, right? And you want to poke at the reactors and say, well, we're fat too. You're fat shaming, fat shaming, fat shaming. You're fat shaming. You are a morbidly obese woman fat shaming other people who might potentially be overweight. Yeah, you did that. You're doing that. Tweety says, no, he doesn't bring me food at 3 a.m. I mean, unless we've been up forever and I'm whiny. She will always end up training her men to feed her at any time. Why stay and put up with it? I just don't get it. No money is worth watching this glutton constantly gorge. So every guy that comes into her life, she basically makes them wait on her hand and foot to feed her addiction. If you're the man in her life, you're going to take part in her addiction. You're basically, if you're making money, all of your money is going to go for feeding her addiction. She has an addiction for food. She has no interest in getting better. She has no interest in curbing her addiction or getting over her addiction and getting in recovery. She's all about, let me just let it continue. Let me let it continue. She's not just going to be a mess for herself. She's going to involve other people in her mess and make their lives suffer in some way. And I'm going to keep bringing this up because it's true. Anybody who supports Foodie Beauty, you're someone and you're a VIB. You're someone and you send her a super chat. You're someone and you sign up for a membership. Understand you are supporting, enabling an addict. If she did not have these addictions, and if she wasn't using her channel and her audience to fund her addictions and her obsessions, you would just be channel members. But let's face it, you see what she's spending her money on. She shows you, shamelessly, she shows you. She's not shown that she's taking the money she gets from all of you and improving her life. No, not at all. She gets on camera and her content is self-harm content. She is hurting herself right in front of you. And I know what some of you are going to say. You're saying, well, I like her personality. I like her, and so I want to show her support. If you want to support her in a healthy way, you can leave her a comment or write her an email or something. You don't have to support her financially. That is the absolute worst thing for her. I feel that her getting on YouTube and getting monetized was the worst thing to happen to Foodie, because the more money she makes, the more unhealthier she is. If she had to just have a regular job with a regular salary, she could not do the chemicals that she does. She couldn't buy the amount of food that she does. It would be healthier for her. She would have to curb her spending. She might be smarter with her money. The fact that she makes so much money, that's why she's so reckless and foolish. So even if you like an addict, you like their personality, you can like them and you can support them without giving money to fund the addictions. And if something, God forbid, happens to Foodie, she has a medical emergency or worse, I don't want to hear a single word from you VIBs that gave money and supported her. I don't want to hear no nonsense from you about, oh, poor Foodie Beauty, this happened to her. You're helping it to happen. I'm not saying 100% of the blame is on you, but you're enabling this crap. You know you're enabling this crap. How can you sit there and watch an addict do their addictions on camera in front of you and not feel disturbed or not feel the least bit embarrassed because you bought some of those supplies, you bought that food, you bought those chemicals, and she's doing them in front of you to show off? If you really cared about Foodie, you wouldn't enable the addictions. You'd want her to be healthy. You want her to get her head straight, and you'll put your foot down and say, you know what? We care about you. We don't want to send you to an early grave. So you need to get your act together or we're pulling our support. We'll go someplace else. Foodie's all about attention and getting attention from people. And if a lot of people said the same thing, If they put their foot down and said, we care about you so much, it's time for some tough love. Get it together, or we're not coming back. She might actually turn her life around. She might actually turn her life around. She's one of those people. She will not change unless she absolutely have to. So if you guys are her bosses, her enablers, her safety net, take the freaking safety net away. Take it away. Stop it. Stop funding this crap. Her health is getting worse. She's getting worse. I know there might be some morbid people in our audience. You're waiting for something medical to happen. You're practically running to the graveyard with a shovel in your hand. But I know there are also people in the audience that care about her. So if you care, think about the ways that you're expressing your care. And are you helping to make things better or worse? Just a thought. So Stone React says, address where all the groceries went. Are they eaten or have you been ordering out? I noticed a lot of the food that Foodie bought was munchy food. And I'm just going to say it. I think maybe some of that food went to Nader. I think part of her groceries went to Nader. Because she's done that before too. Gone grocery shopping and the groceries, it wasn't for her, it was for Nader. Another one from Stone React saying, they forgot my salad. Dee Dee and Nader broke up. Now is your chance. You never know. You never know. That maybe Nader and Chantal will be together. I hope so. Honestly, I hope so. Can you imagine? From the Reactor standpoint, we've seen all this boring crap for the past 2 years. The fireworks that would happen if those two lived together and they live streamed it. Oh my goodness. Now that would be some fresh content. Fresh. Let's see. Bobara says, why not just take a drug test on live to prove it's just green? To all the people saying it's something else, weed is nothing. She'll never do it. She knows she's on different chemicals. She'll never do it. This another super chat from Aaron saying, you choose to stay the same. Oh, stay the same. Nothing to do with the country. Right. So in the live, Foodie was blaming all of her problems on Canada. What's Canada got to do with anything? You can't blame your addictions on a country. How dare you? I'm sure there's lots of great people in Canada. They don't have that same problem. You can't make that claim. Mo says, Mo translates. Hi, Mo. Mo translates says, someone in Chantal's live stream from last night kept sending her $1 super chats that said Salah is on Tinder and his username is Saladin93. The last fight she had with Salah, she said he did something that made her jealous. Is she retaliating by seeing Nader? I think she'd see Nader regardless of the situation because that is her chemical hookup and that is her true love anyway. We know this. But Chantal is that way, like, oh, you have a profile somewhere, then I'm gonna show you. She does have that personality. Another one from Kristen saying, as should be no surprise to anyone, Foodie Beauty is an excuse-making, lying liar who lies, and she wishes she could lie better so she wouldn't have to admit to all of her lying. Translation, she's really sorry, guys. Let's play this from Kristen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've just been like, it's not even that like I really try to hide it, you know. I've obviously been struggling with marijuana, like with weed. And I think it's just a mashup of things, like a perfect storm of things. Number one, I'm an addict, so it's extra hard for me to give up things that temporarily give me gratification to escape anything unpleasant I have to deal with, including myself. So When I say these things, I'm not using them as excuses because it's down to the fact that I fully have to like own that I have to change my behavior. There's just no other way around it. Like, and before I went to Kuwait, how much I was reliant on marijuana to stand my existence here, which seems totally sad. I know, and it is. So like,
To stand your existence, Foodie, while you were in Canada, way before Kuwait, your life was exactly the way you wanted it to be. Nobody forced you to live in any kind of way. Nobody forced you to live in a filthy bedroom, in a filthy house, with a roommate who refuses to work. Nobody forced you into that. That was what you chose to do. That was your life. You are the architect of your own life. You designed it the way you wanted it to be. And you cannot blame any suffering of your life on other people, on your family, on Canada, on Kuwait. You can't do that, ma'am. See, this is how I know Foodie, she's not ready for change. And she's not ready to stop any of her addictions because there's absolutely no accountability here. She's still blame shifting. Oh, it's somebody else's fault. It's something else's fault. When you're ready to change, you will stand still in the face of truth and you will say in front of truth, it's my fault. I did this. I designed things this way. I did it all. My life is crap because I made it that way. And I realize that. And now I want to change. She hasn't had that moment. And she's not going to have that moment so long as she has her safety net. As long as she has her room full of enablers, she's not going to change because she created this toxic formula on YouTube that works for her. And if she doesn't have it, what does she have? Foodie is known for being dramatic. She's known for being a toxic train wreck. If she were to take that away, what would be left that would entertain people? What would she have to make a whole new audience? Absolutely nothing. There's no talents, there's no interest, there's no hobbies, there's nothing, Foodie. There's nothing else to bring in a different kind of audience. So you stick with that toxic formula that works. And you still continue to cater to those ridiculous, toxic feeders. They're always trying to urge you to stuff more food down your throat as if you need it, as if you need to be more than 500 pounds.
I'm really sad. I miss my husband. I miss Kuwait. I really felt like I was doing well there.
You weren't. You really weren't. You were not doing well there. You were binging on food like nobody's business because you couldn't do your other stuff. You couldn't do your edibles. You couldn't do whatever else you do right now in Canada. So you reach for the only legal drug that you can get your hands on, and that's food. And you gained a crap ton of weight. What do you think is going to happen if you do go back to Kuwait? You'll gain even more. You're going to end up in the hospital or a coffin, Foodie. And again, not wishing that on you, not wishing that on you at all. You're going to end up either in the hospital or in a coffin. You're on a path of self-destruction. Wish I could say better for you, but you put yourself there. You can get yourself out. There's still time. As long as you're on this side of the grass, you can change. You can be a better person. If you're on the other side, it's game over.
And here I just feel sucked back into my bad habits. And I miss my husband, and to be able to like stand this existence, like it makes it easier to just get high. you know?
Stand your existence. What is so bad about your life? What is so bad about your life that you did not cause? You know what? I'm tired of her bitching. I'm sick of it. This one, her and Pete's both, they make me ill. All that whining and crying and, oh, my life is so bad. Please, please. I don't want to hear your crap. I don't want to hear your crap, Foodie. I can't stand this existence. You act like you're going through some really hard times. Like you're really down and out. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? There are lots of people who have much harder lives that are working doggone hard to make their lives better. They work and slave at their jobs for that little bit of pay, and they come home exhausted, but they still have their dreams and their passions, and they're going after them any way they can. And you think you have the right to sit up here with your camera running and complain about your life? How dare you? How dare you? You know what? You know what I would love, y'all? I would love to put this one into a normal life with a normal paycheck and tell her, cope with this. Cope with this. Cope with just making $300 a week. And you got to make that stretch as far as you can stretch it. Cope with getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning and coming home at 5 in the afternoon. And then you got housework to do. You got laundry to do. You got things you got to take care of. And you have to do that stuff. You can't just cry or whine your way out. Cope with worrying about having to pay your rent and your bills. Would love to put her in that position just to see her blow up. Would love to see this spoiled brat get a taste of reality. I don't want to hear your crap, Foodie. I was in a toxic relationship for 5 years. And I walked out of it literally with just the clothes on my back and my purse and some money in my purse. And you know what? I was happy to do it because I walked out with the most important thing, and that's my life. Everything else was unimportant. I knew I could buy better, get better later. The most important thing that I took out of that was my life. That was priceless. And I made myself a home, and I put everything back together. So excuse me if I have no sympathy for you. You over there, you got a car, you have regular money coming in, you got all kinds of possibilities, and you're over there talking about, like, oh, please shut up.
Does he know you're high every day? Not like every single day, but close, yeah, since I've been here. Yeah. Hi, Faith. So yeah. And honestly, I wish I could have kept on lying about it. I didn't really want to tell anybody, like, every little thing that I do in my life. But it's hard when you live stream your whole life and people are going to notice.
Yeah, of course people are going to notice. You come on camera hamburger-eyed, barely able to speak, dry mouth. Girl, we know. We know when you're high. We've seen those rare moments when you're not high. We can tell the difference. And you know what? If you want to get high, it's your life. Who can stop you? Do I think you should be wearing an abaya and a hijab when you're high? Absolutely not. I think that if you cared about the Muslim people and the Muslim faith, you would take those things off when you get high. At least have some respect for those people in that faith that way. You should not be high dressed like that. It's so disrespectful. It really is. You know, it's so disrespectful.
So it was mostly like coping mechanism. That's all.
Coping from what? What are you coping with? How is your life so hard? Your life ain't hard. If it is, it's because you made it that way. Coping mechanism for what? Are you trying to say that it's Salah's fault? Are you getting high? Are you trying to blame shift on him? Oh, because I miss him, that's why I'm getting high. Girl, you were getting high before you met up with him. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You were this way and you were getting high way before Salah. So Miss Anthropope says the absolute irony of Chin's dissing Canada and blaming all her promise on this incredibly beautiful country. Does she not get that this is where Salah wants to live? Tell us more how awesome Kuwait is. So that they're comparing Kuwait and Ontario. You know, I'm sure Kuwait is fine, but Canada is also fine. They're beautiful in different ways. And Salah has said that he wants to come to Canada. And yet Foodie does not want to let him come to Canada because I'm sure she's afraid. Because Canada has a bit more freedom than Kuwait and more people. She's afraid. She's insecure and she's jealous and she's afraid of what will happen if Salah gets on Canadian soil. Maybe he sees some prettier women, nicer women than Foodie, and she knows she's going to lose that race. She knows what a train wreck she is. She knows how disgusting she is as far as her mannerisms and her hygiene. And that's going to be a race she will not win. So she'd rather keep him locked up and away from everybody else so that she can have control of him. So this is from Happy Hill saying, but you were in Kuwait for 3 months. And when you came back the first or second night, you were high. Just say you have no self-control and be done with it. Don't blame Canada. You're not addicted. Just say you like the green and be done.
Here. Then you took an oath. You choose to say the same, nothing to do with the country. But it's easier to change over there. Like here, yeah, you have to be your same self here. That's the test.
Now, you know what it is? When she's in Kuwait, she doesn't have access to some of the things that she's addicted to. You know, she's trying to use Kuwait and its laws and restrictions as a means of control, self-control, because she has no self-control. As I stated earlier, Foodie, even when you were in Kuwait, you were still doing one of your drugs, your legal drug, the only drug you can get your hands on, food. You went nuts with the food. You went to Kuwait, and what did you want to do? You wanted to tour all the fast food joints. Who the heck does that? You're traveling, you're around different people, a different culture, a different atmosphere, and you're interested in fast food? That's why you want to travel? You want to see the Burger King in every country, the KFC in every country, the McDonald's in every country? That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. You're not going to be a world traveler. You're going to be a fast food joint traveler. It makes no sense. And if you were so much happier in Kuwait, girl, why did you gain so much weight? If you were happier, why were you binging so much? I mean, make that make sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Unbelievably annoying cat voice says, we see you squeezing into tight clothes and spewing cuss words and insults to anyone you dislike. Saying puppies isn't cute. Reading chat while driving is illegal. And aimlessly driving around isn't entertaining. Most of us just want to see how this low-budget telenovela ends. Everybody's waiting for the ending. I don't know what that's ever going to happen or what the ending is going to be. But you know what, Foodie? At this point, the only thing that can save your channel and you is the truth. That's the one thing you don't give out very much is truth. Just give us the truth. Live truthfully. Live in your truth, whatever that is. You want to go live with Nader? Go live with Nader. You want to get high with Nader? Go get high with him. Stop the lying. The people are getting sick of the lies. Okay, I guess that's from the same live stream. We'll cover that in a minute. So this is one of the super chats that came through for Foodie, saying, you sound like you're looking for a babysitter and not a husband. Aren't you embarrassed that you have to be monitored to not smoke green or do bad things? Right? That's what she wants. She wants a babysitter. She wants someone to always hover over her and tell her, don't do this and don't do that. She wants a man to devote his life to controlling her. and telling her no, although that doesn't work because we all know the foodie does not listen to anybody. She wants the man to just stop living and live to be by her side. Nobody's happy like that, foodie. Nobody. This is from Hidden Truths, Foodie Beauty. I'm not going to get high on camera. Also, Chantal, I'm not going to throw them out talking about the edibles because they're top expensive, but I threw them out the first time.
Saudi Arabia and I don't know.
Oops.
Then I had a relapse. But I will. Get Sally get on live stream with you? Yeah. When I go back, yeah. My husband is from Palestine. Oh, nice, Leo. Look at the loyalty beezers ready to bees. Saudi Arabia and come to Egypt with me. That's far, isn't it? That would be fun, Aisha. You should come to Kuwait. Habibti, come to Kuwait. Why don't you just throw the gummies out? They're expensive. I did throw them all out the first time. Oh, I don't know.
She threw them all out. I'm not going to get high on camera. Doesn't mean she's not going to get high ever. She said, I'm not going to throw them out because they're expensive. So what are you going to do with them then? Yes, they are expensive, but if you're not going to throw them out, what are you going to do? Just put them in a frame and put them on the wall? Give them to somebody? That's the talk of somebody who's not ready to quit. So, little palette cleanser. Y'all check out this beautiful picture on Twitter. You guys know I love photography and I love abandoned places. That would be an amazing place for photography. Just the sunlight coming through, the foliage, the concrete plus the plants. I mean, you could take amazing pictures all through there all day long. I would love it. I would love to go to a place like that. Okay. All right, what we got here? Unbelievably annoying cat voice says, Foodie Beauty, you know when people say they're not laughing at you but with you? This isn't that. We know you've been high since day one of being back in Canada. We know there's a correlation between your makeup, disappearances, and nads. We know the mansion wasn't real. True, we know all of that. Okay, so that's it for the Twitters. And so let's go on to the actual live stream. Let me just go ahead and share the screen. One moment, please. I'm hating this new setup with StreamYard. All right, so there it is. Before we get into it, though, let's go into the comments. I love to give the people a voice. Remember, these are people on Chantal's channel, not reaction channels. Faye says, all you did in Kuwait is replace the green with food, hence the weight gain. Don't kid yourself, Chantal. You need to address your addiction in general. True. C squared says, why come online when you do it? You know people are going to know it has to be on purpose. Yeah, it is on purpose. I mean, a lot of people asked Chantal in the past, you know, like, why not just eat off camera? Well, because then that's no fun. It's no fun for her to eat by herself. She wants to come on camera and eat in front of people, knowing it's going to make a lot of people upset. Plus, it also attracts the feeder crowd. And they throw her super chats and they send her money through PayPal. So she wants to profit off of hurting herself with food. She wants to profit off of her ED. That's why she does it. Emily in her Paris era says, I'm confused as to why you feel the need to broadcast when you're high. Maybe when you're more addicted to the drama and self-sabotage. She loves drama. And something about Chantal, she's so concerned with what everybody else thinks and how we react, and oh, I'm going to show them and I'm going to stick it to them by doing the complete opposite of what they tell me to do. She is more concerned with that than improving her life and improving herself. Like, other people's opinions and feelings and them being upset with her is paramount to how she lives her life versus her actually living her life. Amy Almo says, I can't even fathom having this kind of money. I guess more people are wealthy than I realize. She's not wealthy, though. She's not even rich. She gets a YouTube paycheck, and within like a week after she gets that check, it's gone. If maybe there's a sense of envy about Chantal, let me just get rid of it for you by making you remember something that happened. This woman makes, I don't even know, let's just say $10,000 a month on YouTube. Despite the fact that she makes, say, 10 grand on YouTube, she's $47,000 in debt that she has yet to pay off. And despite the fact that she makes between 8 to 10 grand, she was taking out payday loans because she'd always spend all the money before payday. I mean, seriously, you make between $6,000 to $10,000 a month and you can't stretch it out for 30 days to the point where you got to take a payday loan out? That's absolute madness. Absolute madness. Blank says, just don't lie about it. True. Let's see. Bittersweet Potato says, do strangers and trolls really call her? That's pathetic if so. What is wrong with people these days? Sorry to deal with that, Chantal. The thing is, though, she can say whatever she wants on her live stream. She can sit there and say, strangers call her and trolls are calling her. How do we know that she's telling the truth? Chantal lies. If she's breathing and if she's talking, she's lying. You can't take her word as complete truth all the time. So that's it for the comments. So let's get started with the actual live stream.
I'm brain dead, literally. So, before I do anything, I must have my coffee, which is why I'm so quiet. I hope you're all doing well today and having a better go at things than I am. Something stinks in this area of Orleans. It's not me. I know what you're thinking. So, just let me get my coffee. Why don't you just go live after you have your coffee? Because I'm impatient. Alright, so, yeah, I'm sorry. I've just been like, it's not even that, like, I really try to hide it, you know. I've obviously been struggling with marijuana, like with weed. And I think it's just a mashup of things, like a perfect storm of things. Number one, I'm an addict, so it's extra hard for me to give up things that temporarily give me gratification to escape anything unpleasant I have to deal with, including myself. So, and when I say these things, I'm not using them as excuses because it's down to the fact that I fully have to like own that I have to change my behavior. There's just no other way around it.
And how exactly are you going to change your behavior without therapy, without counseling, and without inpatient? Because of everything you try to change, those are the three things you avoid the most and yet you need the most. I know you're trying to run all the way around those things, Foodie, but you need those things. Those are the only things that are going to help. I know that you like to use your own chat as sort of a paid therapy. You expect for them to pay you and not the other way around. But there's not a single person in your chat that is a psychologist or therapist. There's not a single person that's a drug counselor. And even if they were, you're not their patient, therefore they cannot treat you. So basically what you're doing is you're using your chat as a dumping ground for all of your nonsense. You don't want help. You just want a place to just talk and talk and talk and be heard. But you don't want to get better. You don't want help. You're too busy being the train wreck and profiting off of being the train wreck, and you don't care if you crash.
Like, and before I went to Kuwait, how much I was reliant on marijuana for my two.
It wasn't just the green you were relying on. Let's be honest, there was more than that at work. You were relying on the cocoa, the party powder, because the party powder will give you energy to be up all night into the next morning, to talk and talk and talk and talk. It gave you the energy to get your big butt out of bed and do things, because without it, you'd be sitting in bed all day. You weren't just doing the green, you were doing the white. And Nader also said that you were buying the, let's just call it fungi. Yeah, like this is stuff you find in the ground after a summer rain. You were buying the fungi from him as well, and special case cereal. You were doing different things, Foodie. So it wasn't just the green that was the problem, it was all the other stuff. And treating your body like a gigantic cocktail glass. You had a problem with a lot of things, and I suspect, my theory, that you ran your tolerance with everything up so high, you literally could not get high anymore. You couldn't feel anything. So you went to Kuwait, you gave your body a bit of a dry out so you can come back to Canada and get high again.
You stand my existence here, which seems totally sad, I know, and it is. So, like, I'm really sad. I miss my husband. I miss Kuwait. I really felt like I was doing well there. And here, I just feel sucked back into my bad habits.
You know what it is? Let's be truthful, y'all. Do you know what all this going on is? Foodie could be Foodie in Kuwait. Foodie is so into the Foodie Beauty character that she created. She doesn't want to be Chantal Marie anymore. She doesn't want to be the person. And she's trying to run to another country to escape the person, Chantal Marie, and all of her problems, of which there is many. She wants to be able to go somewhere and stay in character constantly and have a decent looking young man to cater to her every need. She doesn't want to do any adulting. She doesn't want to grow up and do the adulting, put her big girl panties on and her big girl pants on and get to work and fix things. No, she wants to run. She wants to escape. Also, even if Nader is the love of her life, of which I think he is, Foodie is not one that she will meet a man, get infatuated, and let that man escape. Salah is a younger man. He is decent looking, and she doesn't want to let go of that. And I think that she is intensely afraid that if she doesn't get back to Kuwait as soon as possible, that he's going to find another person, hook up with another person, and she's going to lose him, although she never really had him in the first place. I've heard around the way that somebody somewhere said that Salah said that he thinks Foodie is unattractive and too touchy. So if a man feels that way about you, Foodie, if that is true, that means he's not into you. He finds you unattractive and too touchy. That's not someone who wants you around. Yet you're going to try to pressure and push your way into his life by running back over there and maybe shacking up with him so that he can't get rid of you. You want to put all of your stuff into one box and just run to Kuwait to stop this younger man from going and having a life? You're a predator. You're just straight up predator.
And I miss my husband, and to be able to like stand this existence, like it makes it easier to just get high, you know?
Maybe that's your problem. You view life as existing versus something worth living. You say, I'm just existing, I'm not living. Whose fault is that? I'm disgusted with you. I'm so disgusted for so many reasons. I am godsmacked that you have so many doors of opportunity in front of you, just open. They're not even locked. They're open in front of you, like an endless hallway of doorways, and yet you won't walk through any of those doors. You ungrateful, spoiled, rotten, coddled, enabled beast. You're over there making more money in 1 month than some people see in 6 months of hard work. You have a car, you could go anywhere, you could do anything, and yet you're taking what you've been given, those gifts you've been given, and you're destroying yourself versus bettering yourself. When there are so many people out there, they wish they had even a fourth of what you had so they could take it and better themselves and lift themselves up. You are taking what you have and pulling yourself down. And then you have the nerve to blame Canada or Sala or everybody else for your problems. No, I'm not going to let you get away with that. I'm not co-signing on your bullshit. Neither is anybody else. Those that know. Those that watch you know. You can't sit here and whine and cry, oh, my life is so hard. Woman, shut up. Shut up. Miss me with that shit. When there are so many people that because of COVID, they lost their jobs, they lost their homes, they have problems paying their bills, paying their rent, they're maybe looking at eviction. How dare you open your mouth and complain when there's so much true suffering in the world and you have no idea? You're so far removed from it. You and your lack of reality.
Yeah. It's just the disrespectful part about it, you know what I mean? Like, so I see it as like medication, but
See, this is what I'm talking about as far as the enablers. And I'm going to shame every single one of you. I'm going to shame you all because you deserve it. This person, Rhonda, member for 16 months, saying green is legal there. Do it as much as you can while you can and F everyone else. You're basically telling Foodie, go ahead, smoke up, do as much as you can. Bad idea, because she's using green as a medication for everything. Green is not a medication for everything. It's not a medication for every problem. Do you understand? And if she's got a BED, of which she does have, she needs to stay away from it because that stimulates her hunger. That basically urges her to binge. So you, Rhonda, you're someone and you are a member to a channel with someone who's a binge eater. She's got a huge problem with food, and this thing, the green thing, makes her binge, and you're saying, go ahead, smoke up. Knowing that it leads to her binging, you're urging her to do more of it. What is wrong with you?
not really. I'll transfer it over to food again. I'm going to try not to. Rhonda, weed is legal there. Do it as much as you can while you're there and F everyone else. Rhonda, ready, set, rebees.
And even if she goes back to Kuwait and she takes this person's toxic advice and smokes up, smokes every green thing in Canada, to where there's nothing left. What's going to happen when she goes back to Kuwait and she doesn't have it there? Her body's going to get used to having it. And she's going to be in Kuwait and can't get it. What do you think is going to happen? She's going to be a mess. She's going to be cranky and mean and nasty because her body's expecting something they can't get anymore.
No, I made it like, here's the thing. I made an oath to become Muslim, but
Oh, shut up with that. Miss me with that oath. Not that there's anything wrong with the oath. No disrespect to the Muslim people, the Muslim faith. I'm just talking about Foodie. Her talking about, I took an oath. She took the oath as a newly reverted Muslim woman, did she not? What respect has she shown that faith? Absolutely none. Coming on camera, cursing, gossiping, overeating, which is haram. Overeating and indulging like that is haram. Eating food that is not halal. Disrespecting it all over the place. Now she's talking about an oath.
Oath was to only believe in Allah, one God and his messenger. It wasn't to be perfect. I know people are saying, you took an oath. You choose to say the same, nothing to do with the country.
Right.
But it's easier to change over there.
You know, it's not that it's easier for her to change over there. She could change in Canada. She could choose to stay in Canada and fix herself. You can change anywhere you want. You could be sitting watching me right now and say, I'm going to make a change right now, whatever it is you don't like. You can change anywhere you are. It's just that she wants to run her big butt back to Kuwait because of Salah. If Salah were not there, if he were in Canada, she'd want to stay in Canada. But because he's in a different country and she wants to police where he's going, who he's talking to, going through his phone, monitoring his every move, that's why she wants to go back there. It's not that she likes the country or the people or the culture or the food. It's because he's there. If Salah were in Canada, she'd say, oh, I love Canada. But because he's there, she's singing a whole different tune.
Like here? Yeah, you have to be your same self here. That's the test. I think you can be Muslim, have a relationship with God. Well, there's some argument over whether it's haram or halal. That's why. It's a God-given plant. I know a lot of people think that, yeah. I don't think so, Black's Chaos. I don't know.
Oh, another thing that I've seen that is different than it was in Kuwait. When she was in Kuwait with Salah, she made sure to not be sloppy with her eating. We're back to the sloppy eating and the food dripping down her face. When she was over there, she wasn't chewing with her mouth open. She covered her mouth when she was chewing. We're back to her eating like a feral beast.
If he does. It is just weed. I could do a drug test, no problem, but
it isn't just the green. I'd stake all the money that I have on it right now. You're doing more than just green. You're doing more than that. I would put every bit of money I have on that.
It's just stupid. I guess I can. But why bother? Why bother proving myself about anything? The cookie's good, Faith. Maybe you can care without tearing her down. Yeah.
I don't want to see her eat.
Weed is a depressant. I know people think it's honestly, I don't feel good after the next day.
Then why do you do it, dummy? You do it every day.
I feel blah.
then why do it? I mean, if you're someone and you're struggling with your emotions and you've got issues and you've got a problem with depression, or you're prone to going in that direction when you do, say, alcohol or drugs. And let's just say you do a certain kind of alcohol or drugs and then you feel worse the next day. Why continue to freaking do it? It makes no sense to buy something, especially an expensive something, that is going to pull you in a bad direction. What's the point? What is the point? You know, Foodie, as far as addictions go, whatever it is you're addicted to, whether it's something liquid or solid, whether it's like alcohol or drugs of any kind, or even food, here's the problem with anything you try to escape with. Eventually you run out. Eventually you run out of your supply. And then you're back at square one. Your problems are still there. Your emotions are still there. Your mental state is still there. Doing something that becomes an addiction, it's like starting off in a very small room. And then when you do something, another room is connected to that room by a door. And all you're doing is walking through that door into another room, but you're not out of either room. You're just walking from one space to another space and back again. And you become like a mouse in a maze, running back and forth. Whatever you're addicted to, you get up in the morning, you got to find out where to find your stuff, and then go get your stuff, and then bring it back, and then do it, and then you run out, and then like lather, rinse, repeat. That's what it's an endless, crazy 8, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I watched more than one person in my life go through that, do the addiction thing. I watched people that were hardcore alcoholics, people that got into other chemicals. They got on that crazy 8 cycle, mood swings, all that. They were never made happier. They were never made happier, healthier people. Their problems weren't solved. It was just back and forth, trying to get away from whatever was going on inside themselves. And they never got away from it until they fixed it.
At the time, coffee first, why use it? Like, at the time, it like makes you relax and think about nothing.
You were doing it because you wanted to show off. I remember all the way back, Foodie. You remember about 2 years ago when you did your 6-hour New Year's Eve live stream where you made $800 gross and $600 net, because it was something new for your viewers, the live stream situation. You were doing your vape pen. And then you graduated from the vape pen to the edibles and then other stuff. You just kept getting more and more and going harder and harder. And you were taking edibles on stream, showing off. You were using it to show off. A really stupid way to show off, in my opinion, but you were doing it to show off. Oh, look, I can take 1,000 milligrams. Oh, look, I can take 2,000, 3,000. You're an idiot. Nobody needs that much. But you were doing it to show off in front of people. Hey, look at me doing too many edibles. Look how greened out I am. Aren't I cool? No, you're not. You're an idiot. You're stupid. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your time trying to escape from things inside your head versus sitting down at a table with them and saying, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. It's overdue. Let's get some stuff on the table and discuss it. That is how you fix yourself, not running away from yourself.
I could just sit there, like literally. Sometimes I just would take like a huge edible and like just pass out. I swear, I'm not proud of this, but the other day, when was it? I took a gummy. It was a strong dose. And I laid in bed waiting for it to just kick in. And I don't know the next thing that happened. Like, I just must have, I felt myself getting like more and more. And then I just like woke up like on my llama, like, what the heck? Dry mouth. And I was like, what the heck? Like, so that gummy, I must have just passed out. And then waking up now. And then I find like after I wake up, after a night of doing edibles, it's like I wake up for a short period and I'm so gauze that I need to like go back right back to bed. It's like a whole day hangover almost. So that's why I'm like, ugh.
That's because you don't take a little bit just to relax. You take too much. That's what's happening to you. You're taking too much. And another thing, Foodie, as someone that I've been around people that did certain things, you know, and I was privy to their behaviors, just watching them, how they reacted to certain things. One thing I noticed about people that, they would get high like you do. Don't think I haven't noticed that, you always have to immediately run to go get your caffeine and your sugar. There's people that normally get that high in the ways that you do. They always crave sugar the next day, big amounts of sugar, big amounts of caffeine because they're so run down. And that's something that you do. You get high as a kite. The next day, in order just to wake up and get your eyes open, you need your caffeine. You need your sugar fix.
I hate that feeling. I want to get healthy so I can feel chipper and full of energy just like waking up for my day. You know?
Well, drugs ain't going to do it. Try exercise. It's healthy, it's good for you. You'll lose weight, you'll feel good about yourself. That's a healthy thing to do. You may even have aches and pains and be like, oh my goodness, I hurt all over. But after a while, the pain goes away and you feel really, really good. And you'll sleep like you've never slept before in your life.
So yeah, I mean, it's so weird. It's so contrary for me to be with somebody so straight arrow. But that's the environment that Saul is from. He's
And yet you were over there saying if Salah wanted an edible, you give him one. Really? Really? So this person is not into the edibles. He's not into that stuff. But previously you said if he wanted one, you give him one. And I remember a conversation that you and Nader had where you kept trying to urge him to eat edibles. And when he said, why are you trying to get me to eat these things? You said, your answer was, so I can take advantage of you. Is that the reason why you want Salah to do edibles? So that he will be inebriated enough to be intimate with you? Like I said, you are a disgusting, sleazy predator. And of getting men inebriated or drunk is the only way that you can be intimate with anybody. That says a lot about you as a female. That really says a lot about you as a woman, and it doesn't say very nice things. Maybe you're so gross and so vulgar and disgusting in every way that the only way you can have intimate relations with a man is to pay them or get them inebriated. That says some really bad things about you, Foodie.
he's from a society that's like that, and I fully condone that, like restrictiveness in a way, because it's restricting things that are just not good for you. And me, like, I'm a person of great excess. I do everything in excess. It's so shameful and embarrassing.
You got on camera and said you love to do drugs. You said that outright. I love to do drugs. You said that. I love to do drugs. And you know what? You're looking great in that little freeze frame. And I need a thumbnail. So hold still, Foodie. I love photography, and that's a great shot. Thank you. Thumbnail time. Thank you so much for that. But go ahead. What were you saying?
And I do love this man with all my heart and soul.
You love the idea of him. You don't love him. You want to control him. You want to be over his shoulder, looking at his phone, stopping him from going places. He can't have female friends. That's not love. You want to control him. You want to treat him like a doll that you hold in your hand and you make do things. You don't love him. You love the idea of him. That's it. You want to hold on to him just to hold on to him, but you have absolutely no love. None.
And I want to make it work like sober. I want to be sober for this relationship. And I know I won't have to be here long. I'm getting rid of this life. I know that sounds bad, getting rid of, but honestly, my life before was just so self-destructive. And I know not meeting a man is going to change that. I need therapy for that or whatever. I need help with that. And like I'm telling you, when I was in Kuwait, I feel like the therapy was just like a change of environment, self-reflection, getting close to God. I don't feel close. I really don't feel as close to God here. It's really sad. Like that shouldn't change anything just because I'm back here. I don't know how to explain it.
So Kitty Kin says you traded eating more and gaining 30 pounds in Kuwait. So you traded the green addiction for more food. Right. She's got multiple addictions going on. Her number one addiction is for attention. Before anything else, her number one addiction is attention. I heard a story about her and BB where BB was just ironing his shirts for work. And Foodie had a tantrum because he wasn't giving her attention at that moment. This woman craves attention all the time. She's got to be in the spotlight all the time. That's why she can't keep her big face off YouTube for more than 8 minutes. Her number one addiction is attention. Will always be her number one addiction. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Don't look anywhere else. Don't react to anybody else. Just look at me. Then her other side sub addictions are the food and the green and whatever else she's got going on. She's got no impulse control. She's not no self-control. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to probably sound like a biatch saying it, but I don't care. A little harsh talk, Foodie. So you are almost 40 years old, and you are infatuated, not in love with, infatuated with a 28, 29-year-old man. What have you got to offer him? Like, what are you bringing into this relationship? Your health sucks. You are morbidly obese. You've got multiple health problems. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Your liver is screwed. You said you have an enlarged heart. You've had blood clots in your lungs, which you are not taking medication for. You've got diabetes. You're a food addict. You like to do chemicals. Your finances are a mess. What good thing are you bringing into this man's life? What good thing? You can't even say, I have my health. I'm a healthy person. You can't even make that claim. Every part of your life is a mess. And even if you go to Kuwait, you're still going to be a mess. You're still taking your problems with you. You're taking 1,000,000 pounds of drama and mess, and you're parking it in somebody else's life. If you had any true love for Salah, for him as a human being and as a man, you would keep your mess to yourself. You wouldn't like throw it onto his doorstep and say, here, deal with all of this. If you had any respect for him and who he is as a person, you would not bring all of your mess to him and say, you deal with it. That's not fair. You're not coming into this relationship with anything good. It's all bad. And yet you don't want to fix it. You want someone else to fix it. Nobody else can fix it. You're a whole lot of everything bad that nobody should hook up with ever for any reason. And just because you got a YouTube paycheck, that does not wipe away or excuse any of your awfulness. if you hook on to this young man, you're basically going to just hamper him from going out and living. And just because you don't want to live doesn't mean other people don't want to go out and live. So don't try to stop anybody from going out and living. What you should be doing is focusing on how can I live versus how can I exist. If that's how you're looking at life, as just existing versus living, take a good hard look at that and fix it to where you can live. And then maybe you can live with another person and they can live too. Stop being such a controlling, insecure, jealous, just suffocating female. Stop it. Stop it. You suck the life and the life force out of everybody you meet. There's not a single person you know that hasn't been negatively affected by you. Your friends, your family, your pets, any men you come in contact with, none of them can say, my life was made better by knowing this woman. They're all going to say, my life was made worse. You're a walking train wreck. And you run like a freight train through all the men you meet. And because of that, you have to pay men to be around you. See, that's the price you pay for existing versus living.
It's a weird feeling. It's like a hopeless feeling. I don't feel right like being here without him. I feel alone, like back to my old single self, minus I still feel married, but like the behavior I used to do, where I only had to consider myself and my own actions. Point is, I can live a life of, like, our plan, tentatively in my head anyways, for me, like,
You know what I think? I think the fight that Foodie and Sala might have had, I think maybe, it's just a theory, y'all, that maybe Sala told her, look, it was a paid arrangement and it's over. And she got upset with that and offered him more money just to keep it going a little bit longer. I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there.
we're not even focused on coming to Canada right now. And, like, honestly, I don't want to come back here. I'll be happy staying over there, somewhere else in the world. I don't care where, honestly. I know it sounds bratty and entitled, but okay. And another thing I noticed, like, peripherally, I can't even believe. I guess I just can't believe that it's really sick and stupid and annoying, and that people in this whole freaking YouTube universe think think that it's funny, like, even in a joking way, that I give a flying crap that Chef Crap is single, or supposedly. Number one, they're probably just trying to get views
Just like you.
because they realize no one cares anymore, even if they talk about me, which is nice. You know, I haven't thought. The minute my heart truly, truly was taken by Salah, it's not going back. You think it's going to go back to that abusive piece of crap?
I don't want to hear your shit. I don't want to hear it. I think you were both abusive. I think you were both abusive. I don't think it was, if he was abusive, I don't think it was just him. I think it was you too. And I'm getting so sick and tired of you trying to whine and cry to make yourself the victim. You never were. You've never experienced that kind of hell. No matter how much you try to brag about it, and no matter how much you want to talk about it, you've never experienced that hell, Chantal. You've never experienced it. You just want to use that for views.
It's actually sad that people think that I really thought that this person was anything important in my life. Like, comparing to how Solid treats his woman, at the end of the day, you don't see him replying to Chef Natter Goblin Fish, El Scammy, because he doesn't have to. He has me. And no matter how many times you want to call him salad or whatever you claim about him, the proof is in the pudding that he's a better man. He has me. He deserves probably better. But I mean, the proof is that the way he treats you, like he treats me phenomenally, 100 million. I can't even compare it. So how in your right mind is anyone going to sit there? Just, you honestly think the reason, it's like disgusting that people think the only reason I'm not with that piece of crap is because he wasn't single, as if that ever was the real issue. Please give me a break. No.
Chantal, you were so desperate to be with Nader that when Dee Dee went to go stay with Nader at the trap house, and she was there for months, you became more and more feverish and frenzied to get her to go home. That you basically went to the cops to file charges in an effort to scare her to go home and to force him to be with you. It wasn't because of anything he did to you and you were seeking justice. It was about, I'm sick of her being there. It's making me angry. It's making me infuriated. So, in revenge for her being there and in an effort to make her go home, I'm going to go with the cops. I foreshadowed you doing that the night that you were at Nader's. You remember that night when you were sitting in his bedroom, on his bed, wrapped in a sheet, and somebody asked you the question, Chantal, have you ever thought about what would happen if Nader found someone else and wanted to be with someone else, maybe someone with more money? And you said, well, I think about that all the time. Then you said, I've got a plan. I'm not as stupid as you guys think. Trust. Something about an Aries. The moment those words came out of your mouth, I knew exactly what you were going to do. That you were going to use his criminal past against him as a means of blackmail. That if he ever tried to get rid of you or escape from you, that you were going to throw that in and use it against him to force him and to pressure him to stay with you. You were holding that ace in your hand and you were waiting to play it if you needed to play it. The moment you said those words at that time, I knew where your vengeful mind was going to go. And then you went to the cops, and I'm like, aha, there it is. He doesn't want to be with Foodie. He's with somebody else. She doesn't like it. She's going to play that card. And you did. You absolutely did. Maybe you met up with Nader and you learned all about him. You learned about his criminal past and you logged that in into the back of your mind as useful information to use later at a later date. And you did. You did all that. You know, you just seem to have a pattern of trying to force and pressure men to be with you. You don't want to give them a choice. You don't accept the word no. If a guy says no to you, you come back. He says no to you again, you come back later. You never give up. You don't take no for an answer when you should. You're all about, I want what I want who I want, and nobody is going to tell me no. Choice is not an option here. It's about my choice, not your choice. Again, like I said, you are a predator.
You don't believe me. You didn't believe me. That's not your problem. He's exactly where I left his butt. I'm trying not to swear. He's exactly where I left his butt, like I told you before I canceled the apartments. because he's a lying, cheating, abusive piece of crap. And God was looking out for me. And my
let me just throw this in real quick. You can't cheat on somebody you were never with. Nader said the two of you were together for 1 week. 1 week out of an entire year. So if that's true, how could he be cheating on you if you guys were never in a committed relationship and he never claimed you? You might have wanted to be in a relationship with him for God knows what reason, but you were never together. Therefore, he wasn't cheating. You can say the word, but it don't make it true. Everybody called him out when you first started seeing him. They pointed out that he was on single sites. You didn't want to listen. You didn't care. You just excused everything so you can continue to see him. You didn't want to let go because he was the most exciting thing to happen in your boring life. So you kept seeing him. And then more drama happened and more this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. All because you made bad choices.
was looking out for me. And thank God, actually, literally, for giving me somebody who is so much healthier for me in every single way. So much better. So, actually, being here has made me realize I will be the problem in the relationship. I just know it because I'm the one who's so wayward, so messed up.
So before you even go back to Kuwait, you already know that you're going to be the problem in the relationship because your life is such a mess. You know that. You just admitted that. You know you're a problem. You know you're a problem child. Yet you're going to go to Kuwait and force another person to deal with all that. Is that fair? Is that fair? You know you're a mess, but rather than deal with your mess, you're going to put it on somebody else's shoulders, somebody younger, and say, yeah, I'm older than you, but here's all my baggage. Hold on to it for me, fix it, unpack it. It's not their job. It's your job. You're almost 40 years old. You should be at that stage of life where you know yourself and you fix yourself. You don't look at somebody younger to do all that stuff for you. They can't anyway. Stop trying to escape from yourself and fix yourself, Foodie. You know, you've got a nasty habit of, you have no sense of real self-identity or self-worth. And that's why you work so hard to find some guy to attach yourself to, because whatever their identity is, that becomes your new identity. Whatever they like, you like. Whatever they hate, you hate. You absorb into that person and become them as much as possible, just so you will be accepted and loved by them. But here's the catch. None of them really love you, do they? For all of your morphing into that person, you don't get loved anyway. None of these men love you. They just use you for your money, because that's the only good thing about you is the money. That's all they're looking at is the money. They can't find anything else to admire or respect or say, I really love this woman. She's special and I want to be with her. If all you got to offer a man is a paycheck, you don't have much.
You know? I want to change that so bad. Anyway, I know that only actions will speak louder than words for that. But I know that the whole arc with Doo and I hate even addressing them, but even their crap names, and Nader is funny and entertaining. It's not, and it wasn't. Like, don't drive up my butt. I went through a lot of crap, and I documented. It was all on camera. At the time, people were screaming, shouting, and not being heard. Remember? Oh, he's an abuser. He's this and that. We see it all. Yeah, well, now it's like everyone's blind or they don't want to remember what he did. Or because I showed more compassion for him than most, or the other women who were his victims didn't have a platform. I don't know why I get less sympathy. Not that I need your sympathy, but I don't know why people are just so in disbelief that anything that I said he did to me at the time really happened. Oh, because I dropped the charges. Because that's totally not uncommon for a woman to do when she's still involved with the person. Right.
I really don't want to hear this. I'm sick of her argument of using statistics about how DV victims go back to their abusers. Here's why those stats don't apply to Foodie. Because in a lot of cases where the victims go back to the abusers, it's because they essentially have nowhere to go. They have no friends to move in with. They have no family. They have no resources. They have no money. They're essentially stuck. Foodie cannot use stats to her advantage this way. Not when she has her own car. She's getting money off YouTube. From the very beginning, it was all by choice. Her going to see Nader was a choice each and every time. He doesn't even have a car to come see her. She has to drive to go see him. First in Gatineau when he was there, and then when he went to Montreal, all those trips to Montreal and back. This abusive man that she swears did awful things to her, she was driving 2 hours there and 2 hours back just for one visit. So, Foodie, those stats don't apply to you. Where a lot of victims, they are essentially stuck. They have nowhere to go. They have no money. Perhaps they might have children with the abuser. And they don't want to hurt their kids. They have to go back, or they feel they have to go back, because at that time they have no choice. You can't talk about that kind of life. You've not been faced with those circumstances, those difficult, painful things. You can't speak from that place, ma'am.
It's actually not common at all, right? Actually, it's so common. It's actually very common.
I mean, I can speak on it a little bit. I was in that abusive relationship for 5 years. And the only reason why I stayed that long was because I was in that situation. I had nowhere to go, no family, no friends, no money. And things just got progressively worse, but I was stuck. And that's why I never left. So my situation is different than Foodie's. Whereas I couldn't find a way from my abuser, she kept going to hers.
So, anyway, I feel like I'm in one of those crappy Canada postcards. When I look at the environment around me, I like Canada, but honestly, I just don't feel like I belong here right now. I feel like I'm supposed to, like, I have a lot of work I have to do on myself, and I keep ignoring it, and I keep getting punished for it. And I know that's God's way of saying, you're supposed to stay on track. I gave you this amazing potential for an amazing family. I gave you Sala, and I'm here for a purpose. Like, I'm not here to side rail and just get high all the time. You know, I got to keep track and focus of what I'm.
You don't have to go to Kuwait, Foodie. You could choose to go to inpatient. You're making that kind of money where you could do some inpatient time and straighten yourself out. I don't know how long it would take. You need to go to inpatient for at least a few months. Strict, restricted inpatient to where you're monitored and you can't sneak out and you can't sneak away. You need to be off YouTube for at least a couple of months, maybe 3. Like I said, I don't know how long it would take, but you need intense counseling, therapy. You need a lot of things. You don't have to run to Kuwait because that's not going to work anyway. You need to be in a place where you can get the help you need, but you really don't want the help.
Actually here for, you know? And I always lose track of that. I always forget. When the nights are hard, like when you're alone at night, I went from like spending every single night with, well, almost every single night, especially after we were married, every single night with my husband and somebody loving and somebody like before bed for hours we just laugh and talk and do other things, affectionate. And then when you wake up, you do the same thing, you know? So it's like super lonely. And I just needed, like, I felt like if I used weed, and then when I got home,
You know, I don't understand her saying she's lonely. I could understand if she were living alone at the villa, but she has her cats and she has Pete's. And I know they're not romantically involved, but still, that's companionship. You know, that's someone to talk to. That helps with feeling lonely. Having somebody to talk to and having your pets is not the same thing as a relationship, but it's something. But she's not sitting at that villa all alone with absolutely no one to talk to.
I really didn't think much about it. I was like, and then I seen the lemon haze in the drawer, and I'm like, I thought I got rid of every single thing, you know?
You're a liar. You knew it was there. You probably put it there for when you returned home from Kuwait.
Like, I did give my aunt most of it, I guess. Like, there was some left. And it's just too easy here. It's just like, or it's easier than ordering friggin' delivery for food. It's like you can get weed everywhere.
So you're trying to use Kuwait as sort of like a locked down inpatient. So that cuts off some of your addictions, but not your addiction to food. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to go to Kuwait and make yourself bedbound? And by the way, no free health care in Kuwait.
Okay. It's nice to have his views on, he's from a different culture, and sometimes, that's dealing with issues from this world from a different culture. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. But anyways, I don't even think about these idiots. Like, I really just don't give a crap about what they think. The honest
Oh, here we go. Love this super chat. C. Michelle says she's looking for a dad, not a husband. You know, Foodie, she has daddy issues. I say that kindly. She does have daddy issues. As I understand it, uh, Chantal's father left at a very early age, and he was not a good person nor a nice person. I heard that he drank a lot. But I think that she has abandonment issues and daddy issues that have not been addressed. She is looking for a guy that will act sort of kind of like a father figure and look after her or tell her what to do. I'm not exactly sure of the in and outs of that. But I think she's got some unresolved daddy issues that need to be taken care of. Because I'm sorry, Chantal, the only person that can be your father is your father. No other man but your father. And that's the truth. If you got mommy issues, the only person you should be addressing them to is your mother. You can't expect your partner to be a surrogate mom or dad.
Honestly, they have a relationship. So obviously, number one, I think it's just a money grab. Number two, um, if you think that I would ever give two craps about what these two losers are going to do in life, especially their love lives, you have another thing coming. I know that like there's actual people waiting. I heard somebody say for the breakup arc. Okay, those people who said I'm not going to Kuwait, I would like to rub it right now, rub it so in your face like a.
Well, you can't, though. You can't rub anything in our faces because You're not in Kuwait yet. You're not there. You're not leaving for another, what, 2 weeks or so, Foodie? Like 3 weeks? So you can't say, I'd like to rub it in their face. Well, you're being premature with that. You're not in Kuwait, and Pete isn't moved out yet. So until then, I'm side-eyeing the both of you. For all we know, this could be a gigantic lie, yet again, in a web of lies. It could be just like a scam for money. This could be you getting on your channel and trying to create a sense of urgency with people like, you better watch me now. You better watch my content for the next 3 weeks, because when I go to Kuwait, it's going to get boring again. You know, you're trying to imply a sense of urgency with people to watch your stuff for the next 3 weeks so you can boost up your next payday. And then right before it's supposed to happen, when time runs out, something's going to happen. Oh, I can't go to Kuwait, this, that, and the other thing. It always happens. I've noticed that with all of your plans, it's always a period of time where if you want to go to Jamaica, that's going to take 2 or 3 months. If you want to go to Europe and do Eurobeats, that's going to take 3 months. Going to the weekend concert, that took 3 weeks, 2 months, and you didn't even end up going. It's nothing that's going to happen like right away. It's always like a month or 2 months out. And you do that so you can milk that arc as long as you can until there's no more time left on the clock.
Dirty diaper. Okay, I'd love to rub that right in your face. Actually, let's go all the way back to Cuba. People said it would never happen, or that I wouldn't get my channel back. I'd like to rub that right in your face. And
you know what? You shouldn't have got your channel back, because look what you've done since then. You've made yourself more sick, more unhealthy. You've been more toxic than you've ever been. It made you feel untouchable. Like, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, look, I can break all the rules and they'll get my channel back. You promised everybody you'd do better content, you'd be a better person, and you lied. YouTube should never have given you your channel back, ever.
And now I would like to rub Kuwait in your face.
Well, can't do it because you're not there yet, girl.
Okay, and then those people like Frenchie who got so freaking horny and excited the minute I came on live, it was like, what did I say? Hold on. What did I say? Oh, they're like right away. They're like, oh, they're breaking up. I told you, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to rub that all in your face, okay? And what else can I rub in your face? Oh, yeah.
She is obsessed with, I'm going to show them. Her life is all about just being rebellious and defiant. And I don't care about my actual life. I care about just showing all of these strangers I'm the boss, and I'm going to show them. I'm going to stick it to them. I'm going to flip them the middle finger. Is it any wonder why your life sucks, Foodie? With that kind of attitude, that you're so busy running around on YouTube, running around on Twitter, trying to find out what everybody's saying about you so that you have a reason to rage and to make content, going into everybody's chats under sock accounts. You're so busy with all that. You're a little busybody for all the wrong reasons. You're so busy in everybody else's business that you're not taking care of your own business.
Yeah, and those idiots sitting there twiddling their thumbs, thinking for one split second that I'm going to drive this Kia to Lachine just because that he's all of a sudden single now. You're crazy.
You know what? I'm going to bust you out right now. Ma'am, I remember watching you when you were deep into Nader. That when you really got wrapped around him, I remember you like doing your mandatory live stream in the morning, your Starbucks bees, and then you'd be gone the rest of the night because you'd wanted to spend the rest of the time with Nader. You just couldn't be separated away from him. You're doing it again. You do like one live stream and then you're disappear the rest of the night. So tell me that you're seeing Nader without telling me you're seeing Nader. It's obvious. You who loves to be on YouTube, you that you love to live stream, doing just one live stream a day, unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. Unless you're with Nader. You're spending time around Didi and Nader. Maybe you guys are partying it up. I mean, everybody's been noticing your little stuffed up nose and sucking down the cold drinks like you used to because your throat's raw. Yeah, we notice all that. It's sad how we notice that. That's how much you live stream, that we pick up on your behaviors, but we notice it. You're seeing Nader again. You're hanging out with him again. You're both just incredibly obvious. All we're doing is waiting for you to say, yeah, you're right. We are seeing each other. And we're probably going to be moving in together. Just go ahead and do it. That's what you guys want to do anyway. Get it over with. And don't tell me that you wouldn't want to do that because you've been dying to stick it to Didi for the longest. You would move in with Nader just to say, haha, see, I was right. I told you that I could get him anytime I wanted. And look, I got him. You would move in with Nader just to stick it to Didi. You know you would.
You're crazy. You don't know me, and that proves to me that you have no idea what's coming up in these coming years. Like, you think so the opposite way of the way anything is going to happen. I love that for you. So yeah. Oh no, they had an argument and they broke up, and now I'm back together with him. Like, what do you think? Like, we're normal people. Obviously, we're married. We love each other.
No, you don't.
Hello. We have plans to travel the world together, anyways. Some places in the world I don't want to go to. Like, yeah, I like stepped out of line and said some private things online. But it's so hard, like I said, like being somebody public, sharing your life. Literally, most things I do, I think, oh my gosh, the Beezers would laugh at this, or the Beezers. But anyway.
Okay, so this comment, Freya says, I've heard rumblings of FFG and that fake friends with Solid talking. Is there any truth to this, Beezers? I can answer that for you. So Allah, which was Salah's friend, came into FFG's chat. And he came into FFG's chat just to let everybody know what was going on. I'll give you a brief summary. He came into FFG's chat probably because he knew that Chantal watches FFG like a hawk. He told Frenchie and everybody in Frenchie's chat that he did not press charges on Foodie while she was in Kuwait because he wanted her to get the heck out of Kuwait. He gave her a way out. He let her go home because he did not want her staying in Kuwait. But if she returned to Kuwait, he would press a case on her. So Allah decided to let Foodie go home, but if she comes back, there's going to be hell to pay. And he went into Frenchie's chat because he knows Chantal watches. So essentially, he was using Frenchie and her chat and her channel to give a warning to Foodie to stay away.
I'm just going for a drive through Canada because we have to see what we're going to do. We're saying farewell to Canada. Hi, Canada. Take it down now, Josh. Sala thinks we're all a little nutty. Babe, we're kind of weird here. That's all.
Yeah, so like Phil Mitchell says, why can't the new owner have a cat tree? So Chantal is trying to sell or give away different items in her home. One of them is the cat tree that she has for both the cats. And she said that she's going to rehome the cats, although she has said she's going to rehome Sam, not BBJ. Like, there's no mention of what's going to happen with BBJ, but Chantal is not going to give the new owner the cat tree, which is weird. Why wouldn't you give the cat tree? If you don't want it, why not just give it away?
The Netherlands, stop calling me. How stupid of these annoying people who disturb the others. Aisha, she's like, girl, your number's all over Twitter. Really, thanks for spreading my number around.
Actually, ma'am, you did. You were the one, you were an idiot. You placed an ad, and the things that you're selling really aren't worth selling. It's just ridiculous, like you asking for money for the things you want to sell. But you posted your real address and your real phone number. So the Kiwi farmers found it. Yes, now it is everywhere, but whose fault is that?
Now I have to change it again.
You don't have to change it. You're going to be leaving in about 3 weeks. So what do you care about the number?
Hi, Brittany. Enjoy it. Make it silence. Hold on, guys. Then apologize to yourself and your husband. The rest of us is not. Yeah, mostly just to myself and to my husband, Black Cillian. I'm so glad you're black. You're black. You're back. What people are gonna say that's racist.
And here's another feeder idiot in the chat, Edward Cullen, saying you've done it every single day since being back, though, so just own it and keep doing it. There you go. What was I talking about? Toxic people in the chat that they're all like, go ahead, foodie. Eat whatever you want. Do whatever drugs you want. It's okay. You toxic enablers. What would your reaction be if something happened to this woman? If something medical happened to her, she ended up in the hospital, or she ended up in an accident, are you being one of those idiots that you're like, oh my God, something happened to Foodie, I can't believe it? Probably. You're going to try to fake this concerned reaction if something happens to her, if God forbid she has a heart attack or a stroke, she has a medical emergency because of her eating herself to death or almost to death, or if she does drugs and she gets behind the wheel of a car and God forbid something bad happens to her or somebody else on the road, you're the ones enabling this crap. You're the ones pushing it forward. Some of you people in the chat are just really, really twisted and morbid. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Just watch Black Cillian. I'm so happy you're back. And honestly, I haven't forgotten my mom is heading back to Florida. So anyway, when I go back, I'm going to be doing more cooking because I'm going to be able to more. And I'm excited. I like doing housewife stuff, actually.
No, you don't. You claim that you're all into cleaning when you're in Kuwait. Then how come the villa isn't sparkling clean? Why isn't the villa sparkling clean? Why is it still a mess? Miss Housewife of the Year. Why haven't you done any cleaning at the villa? The villa needs it. Have you cleaned anything? No. Because you've been back, and what have you done since being back? Getting high. And what happens when you get high? You want to sleep. You want to veg out. Couch potato. What happened? Why not take all that energy and put it into cleaning? If you feel depressed, you feel angry, just start cleaning. Start cleaning something. I've done that. I've been aggravated and done some cleaning. Got that energy going. Yep.
Just an adjustment. Look at me. Look how I used to be. Okay. You don't just adopt these values and everything overnight, you know? So yeah, nobody cares about any of that. Nobody cares. I'm happily married and I've moved on. Like, why?
Okay, so this comment by Phil Mitchell says, you used to be clean and tidy and wear nice clothes with BB. Yeah, that's true. That is not a lie. When she lived with BB, she kept herself up, had her nails done. Everything was clean. She wasn't filthy. I don't know what happened when she moved into the villa. She just became a slob beast. She became feral. But when she was with BB, it was a different story. Maybe because BB would never put up with all that feral nonsense, but she just completely lost control when she moved in with Pete's. So it would seem like whenever she gets with a guy, if the guy's all about cleanliness and keeping things clean and tidy, then she tries to be like that guy. It's not so much about she has standards and, oh, I'm going to have these standards and stay clean and decent for me. No, it's all about the guy that she's living with. And she lived with Pete, and Pete is a bit of a slob. So she was a slob too.
Are people still involving me in the timeline of Naturd and Doo-Doo? Like, I don't understand why you still even associate with, like, how long is it going to be that I'm associated with these idiots?
Why do you keep going back to them?
But I thought I should address that. And that's my thoughts on it.
Oh, Flop Era says Nader said he's moving back to Gatineau. Oh, did he say that? Question. How is he going to manage that? That's my automatic question. How is he going to move back to Gatineau? With what money? With what income is he going to move back to Gatineau? The only thing that comes to my mind is Foodie's going to help him. But you know what? At this point in time, I don't believe he's moving back to Gatineau. Because the last place he was in was that trap house. And then he moved from the trap house to the condo. He upgraded. He went from the trap house to the condo. I just can't see him downgrading again. He's got too big of an ego. So unless he's moving back to Gatineau into a nice place, courtesy of Foodie and her income, it's not going to happen. He's got a gigantic ego. He's all about upgrading in life, upgrading at somebody else's expense. And I'm not going to believe that he's moving to Gatineau until I see him at a different location without Didi. Until then, they're just clickbaiting over there. It's a smokescreen. So I don't know. I don't know if Nader and Chantal are going to be moving in together. I have no idea. I think the whole mansion idea that she came up with long ago, that was her trying to entice Nader into a different location, talking about it. Oh, it's got a nice kitchen and a coffee bar. She was talking directly to him when she said those things. Look, Nader, I found this nice place with a coffee bar and a nice kitchen. You could do lives in there. She talked about doing a content house, which meant there'd be more than one creator in that house. I think that was her trying to get his attention. But at the time, she was still with Pete's. Now, allegedly, Pete's is moving on, going to be moving out with mom. So she will be alone. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
Oops, I'm way behind. You went back on Vyvanse, really? You sound like you're looking for a babysitter, not a husband.
Right?
Are you embarrassed that you have to be monitored to not smoke weed? Or do bad things? Yeah, I do feel bad about it.
Yeah, because you're 40 years old acting like a 12-year-old. You're looking for a parent. You're not looking for a partner.
Yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Nah, they're just telling the truth. You should be embarrassed. You're almost 40 years old and you still cannot monitor yourself, control yourself. You're basically saying, I'm helpless. I'm helpless. Somebody help me. I can't adult on my own. I can't be independent on my own. I need someone to take control and do all the hard stuff. At almost 40 years old, embarrassing.
Blah, blah, blah is what I hear when you speak on them, not gonna lie. Faith, it's always the same stuff. Like, there's nothing new to say. You know? I don't know what their problem is. He's too low under the ground. Why should I waste my time? Answer. Brie Bear. Brie Bear belly dancer boy. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And listen, I'm not taking up for Nader. I don't like Nader, but you know what, Sala? You know what? There's nothing wrong with belly dancing, whether you're a male or female. And this was the man that Foodie was wrapped around for over a year. And what are you, sir? You're a young man that you are so wanting to change your life that you will throw your lot in with this disgusting, toxic mess of a creature. And you got a gaming channel, but you're not that great of a gamer. So there's that.
No, Phil. All right. Jealous of the night. Something very stupid. I won't even tell you. It was so dumb. Pizza's probably touching. Sally will love Ottawa. I don't know. No, Missy Moo. That is so nice of you. I have to do something like this too. In Abu Dhabi, Sriracha? Babe, are we going to go to Abu Dhabi? Only if it will help you improve it. Tell us what. Hanging out with his homeboys, you can't get mad or jealous over that. No.
Now, Foodie's that type of female that if you said to her, I just want to go hang out with my friends, she'd be blowing up your phone every 5 minutes. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? When you coming home? She's that one. She's that one. She wouldn't give you a moment of peace. You'd want to go out with your friends and just want to hang and chill. Maybe watch some TV, maybe go play soccer, whatever. And she would be blowing up your phone every 5 minutes, bugging you with, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? When are you gonna come home?
Yeah, kind of. I can't get jealous or annoyed with anything.
But you do.
Has Sala put Harry in the new oven? Won't have a couch or a bed. That's true. Knock on wood. I mean, as long as I have an income,
Yeah, good luck with that.
relatively good health.
Don't have that either.
As long as I have an income, I'm still able to walk around for 2 minutes at a time. And have Sala, I'm good. No.
What happens if something happens to your YouTube channel or your views dip down so low that you're not making that much? Then what are you going to do? You're going to be in another country, unable to get home. Okay. You're going to be miserable. But I would love that for you.
I think I know what you mean. I would just adapt. I don't need a couch and a fridge and stove to feel rich here, you know? No couch, no pizza, no cats. Yeah. I just sin sometimes. Sherry Sam!
She's so loud.
All right, where are we going?
She's so
Going
loud.
to Walkley. Sala and Mr. Moo. I know, who wants to buy my car?
Yama does. She offered you money for your car, but the condition is you can't clean it. So there's been a couple of offers for your car.
All right, babe. Babe, I have to go get food. Should I go to Farm Boy? Why coconut water? Well,
oh yeah, that's an idea that Foodie has that she's going to do before going to Kuwait. Doing a coconut water fast bees. For those who do not know, coconut water, it acts like a laxative. Foodie, you already go to the bathroom 12 times a day. Why would you want to do something that's going to make you have diarrhea? That doesn't sound healthy. If that's your way of trying to lose weight, that's not really losing weight. You're just getting rid of a lot of waste out of your system. And if you don't want to get rid of waste, then stop eating 12 times a day.
If you want to know, Mimi, coconut water is pure, healthy, and it has all of the electrolytes you need.
And you're not going to adhere to it. Can anybody imagine, Foodie, not eating for a couple of days and just doing coconut water? Yeah, that's going to last for about 5 minutes.
Looking forward to Ramadan Beeson. That's why I put that picture there. Like, she legit has a fupa.
So what? You got a bigger fupa. You got an enormous fupa. We've all seen it. You know, not fat shaming, but just stating the truth. Your fupa hangs down to your crotch area, ma'am. That's why we call it your fupa balls, because it hangs down to your crotch area. So, and the weird part is you scream about fat shaming, but here you are poking fun at somebody else potentially having a fupa. So isn't that strange? You yell and scream about nobody should fat shame, but here you are trying to fat shame somebody else.
What's your cholesterol? Oh, the cheese, yeah. I have to watch everything. That's why. But
And this idiot, Edward Cullen, Chantal, can you fill your bathtub with paneer and bathe in it for a Farewell Canada stream? Feeder? That's a feeder thing to say.
things I wanted to address. I guess when I am apologizing, I'm apologizing mostly to myself and to my husband. And
Well, if you want to apologize to yourself and your husband, that's what a phone is for. Because you're not really sorry to people on your channel. If this was strictly for you and your husband, then talk to your husband. There was no need to make a live stream if the apology wasn't towards your viewers for things that you've done. Although you could have gotten on this stream and honestly apologized for the fact that you're coming on stream high as a kite all the time, really unable to speak, giving boring content, dirty deleting streams so they can't watch them, charging a membership for absolutely no reason other than greed, scamming people, grifting people, lying to people. There's so many things you could apologize for that you could make an entire stream out of just listing the things you've done wrong. But no, you don't care about the people who pay your rent and pay your bills and fund your habits and fund your addictions. You care about some boy toy across the world that you give $9,000 to. Got to make sure that he's okay with you. That's where your focus is. Well, guess what? You wouldn't have that boy toy if it weren't for all these people in the chat paying your way, ma'am. Think about that.
you know, I know that you guys don't care about marijuana. You're so used to it. Like, I used to be baked most of my life. Like, most live streams, I was like a huge weed enthusiast. I loved it. I loved it, loved it. You know? So, that's just how it was. I'm live. And then be like, oh, I have an open chat where everyone can come and talk shit. But I'm going to brag about having more numbers off of someone else's content. Right. Only me, though. Like, nobody cares about your commentary on literally anything else because it's bad. Like,
there she is pocket watching FFG. You can't win with Foodie. If you cover her, if you react to her content, you are a content thief. You are a vulture. But if you cover other people, she's got bad things to say about that. She will pocket watch you. She'll pocket watch your views on that other subject, and she will try to shame you with those views. And here's something for you, Foodie. Frenchie is doing well enough. She can cover anybody, and that's the beauty of being a content creator and a reactor. You can do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you can do whatever the heck you want. You can cover anybody you want. You can make your own material if you want. Freedom. Freedom is a wonderful thing. Frenchie's doing well enough. She can cover anything. She could cover paint drying on the wall and make it entertaining if she wants to. You shouldn't be criticizing. You should not be criticizing. For other people just branching out and doing different things and being imaginative and being creative and just seeing what else they could do. You shouldn't be criticizing that just because you're stuck in a rut of your own making, of a corner of your own making, doesn't mean other people are.
Her reactions are not even good. They're just screeching, brainless things that are not even like valid thoughts.
Oh, really? Then why is it that when you do a stream, you're lucky to get 1,000 people in your room? And yet when she does a live, she'll get between 2,000 and 3,000 people in her room, sometimes even 5K. When's the last time you've had that many people in your room, Foodie? It's been a while. So for someone who's not entertaining, why do so many people watch Frenchie? Why? When you have your content on your channel and she has it on her channel, why is it when you do the content, nobody really watches you? But yet when somebody else has that same content on their channel, people watch. Would you like to know why? I can clue you in because it's more entertaining in one location than another location. Maybe some of the things that she says makes it tolerable for people to watch. Maybe because she makes it more entertaining. You think?
So I don't get it, but whatever.
You don't have to get it. The content isn't for you. It's just about you.
A lot of the world is dumb like that. Okay, we're almost at the Popeyes. Ooh, the sandwich.
I mean, really, Foodie, let's break it down. What is your content? You go to Starbucks, you get your huge, oversized diabetes in a cup drink, and you drink it. You run around to all the fast food joints. You ramble about nothing. You stuff your face full of food. And when you're not doing that, you're getting high. You lather, rinse, repeat, and do that for every live stream. And you wonder why people don't watch your content on your channel because there's no variety. At least with the reactors, we give variety. We'll put in different clips. We'll do humorous things. Like one of the things I'm enjoying these days is watching my friend Erie Pepperoni. When she covers your content, she's very spicy. And she does all kinds of little break clips and intros and stuff. And it makes it more tolerable. I appreciate the imaginative, creative, witty, funny, sarcastic reactors. They make your content bearable.
I think I want the strips. On downhill. Pete's sympathy era. Your profile picture looks exactly like FFG.
She says that FFG is obsessed with her, but I think it's the other way around. She just can't help but bring up Frenchie every chance she gets. Every chance she gets. She could be in a field of nothing, with nothing around her, nothing going on, and for whatever reason, bring up FFG. Do you guys see that tree over there? Yeah, it looks just like FFG. She's going to find a way to bring Frenchie into every conversation.
She looks like the guy from the comic book guy with a
Was that supposed to be a burn? Because nobody knows who you're talking about.
ponytail. Yes.
So what are you going to do? You're going to eat again. That's basically it. You're going to eat again. Go ahead, eat again. Because guess what, Foodie? I'm done with you. There's like 25 minutes left. I'm bored. I got to stop reacting. I'm bored with Foodie. I'm absolutely bored with her. All right, guys. We've been doing this for almost 2.5 hours. We've seen enough. Foodie's been missing since this morning. Like I said, I've just been noticing that anymore she'll do like one stream. That's it. And then she's gone the rest of the day, and we can pretty much guarantee where she's at. She's with Nader. She's wrapped around Nader again. She's back in Canada. She's doing the chemicals. He sells the chemicals to her. So she did her mandatory stream of the day just so she can go over to Nader's and party. That's where she is. Because if he's not live and she's not live, guarantee you they're together. So I'm out, y'all. Hope you have a great evening. If you'd like, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Really do appreciate hearing from you. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. Bye-bye.